I'm joined by Yuka Roya from the business desk. Hi there, Yuka. We've been looking at events in Kenya and the country's president vowing to restore calm at, quote, whatever cost. This after protesters stormed the parliament and security forces opened fire.
Well, that's right. President William Ruto has vowed to take strong action, saying debate over a controversial new tax bill had been hijacked by dangerous people. However, he didn't mention any more changes to the legislation or plans to suspend it, as some protesters had hoped. The storming of Parliament came just after lawmakers voted through the watered-down version of the bill. Bedika Bahal takes a closer look.
As protests intensify nationwide, Kenyans are doubling down against the government's planned tax hikes, arguing it will choke their economy and tighten purses for those already struggling with a high cost of living.
We are rejecting it, every clause. We are not asking for any amendment. We are asking for them to reject it.
People are struggling. People don't have places to stay. People don't have meals to eat. Families, fathers can't put food on their table. We need change in this country, and this finance bill is not going to bring that change.
President William Ruto's unpopular fiscal plans come as Kenya enters its new financial year. Initially, his finance bill sought to impose new tariffs of up to 25% on basic commodities, such as bread, sugar and oil, and impose an annual tax on motor vehicles at 2.5% of the car's value. There was also an eco-levy, a charge on manufactured goods including digital technology, menstrual products and nappies, and a 5% hike on using digital payments. Whilst the government walked back on these taxes and amended the eco-levy to only imported products, a 16% tax on specialised hospitals and a rise in import levies remain untouched. Authorities insist the measures are necessary to cut public debt. Via these additional taxes, Ruto aims to raise $2.7 billion to reduce Kenya's budget deficit and state borrowing. The country's public debt stands at 68% of its GDP, which is higher than the World Bank and IMF's recommendation of 55%. And Nairobi is keen to meet its revenue targets to access more funding.
OK, now, Yuka, the day after charging Apple with stifling competition, EU antitrust regulators are going after Microsoft.
The European Commission is accusing the tech giant of breaching the bloc's competition rules by bundling its video chat app Teams and Office products. The investigation was launched about a year ago following a complaint by Slack, a rival messaging app owned by Salesforce, and another complaint filed by German firm AlphaView. Microsoft then started offering Office suites without Teams, but the EU says the changes are insufficient to restore competition. The company says it will work to find a solution. Here's a statement from the EU's Executive Vice President in charge of competition policies.
We are concerned that Microsoft may be giving its own communication product Teams an undue advantage over competitors by tying it to its popular productivity suites for businesses. And preserving competition for remote communication and collaboration tools is essential, as it also fosters innovation on these markets. If confirmed, Microsoft's conduct would be illegal under our competition rules.
OK, let's turn our eye now to the plane maker Boeing, which has been grabbing headlines once again over safety issues. But on Tuesday, its rival Airbus has also been spooking investors a bit, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, shares in Airbus, the European plane maker, plunged more than 9% on Tuesday after the company reduced its annual financial targets and announced a charge of €900 million for its troubled satellite business. It also said it would deliver fewer planes than expected this year due to supply problems, delaying the production target of producing 75 of its best-selling A320neo jets a month to 2027 from the current target of 2026. Some financial analysts described it as a stunning profit warning and no longer recommended buying company shares. Tom.
OK, now here in France, the party leaders have been debating this evening, a televised debate ahead of Sunday's first round of voting. The rise of the far right, generating lots of speculation about the future of the country's green transition. What's this about?
Well, the National Rally has said that it plans to halt the production of many wind and solar projects if elected, in efforts to appeal to voters concerned about spiralling living costs. Elisa Herbert takes a look at what the far right's planned energy policies could mean for France's economy.
France's plans to move away from fossil fuels could be at risk if a National Rally government is elected in the fast-approaching legislative elections. The The Populist Party has pledged to roll back components of the European Union's Green Deal, threatening the renewable industry, turbine makers and car battery manufacturers, and many businesses that currently receive subsidies, in a bid to appeal to voters' pockets.
Heating and transport are becoming luxuries. I want to take into account the urgency of purchasing power.
The party has pledged to cut the VAT tax on gasoline, natural gas, heating, fuel and electricity, the cost of which would be an estimated €14 billion, part of which it says would be funded by a tax on windfall profits for power producers and lower subsidies for renewables, such as wind power and solar farm projects, which it would halt the development of and end support for. In place, it plans to build 20 new nuclear reactors by 2045 and back other energy forms like hydropower and biogas. The party's proposals have already had consequences for France's market as investors immediately began selling off energy stocks. France is currently experiencing one of the worst budget deficits in Europe, and the country's finance minister warned the National Rally Party policies will only raise borrowing costs for businesses and households and worsen the economy. And it appears many investors agree with him in the days following President Emmanuel Macron's announcement of a snap election, with the National Rally Party ahead in the polls. France's stock market fell to its lowest level in 2 years.
OK, and just lastly, Tesla has recalled most of its Cybertrucks in the United States. Tell us more, Yuka.
It's the fourth recall since the electric pickup truck went on sale late last year. It's linked to issues with the windshield wipers and exterior trim, hardware problems that are relatively unusual for Tesla cars that often have software recalls that can be fixed over the air. The latest one affects more than 11,000 cars, though Tesla has not described how many Cybertrucks it has sold to date. Deliveries started in November after years of delay. Made of stainless steel, the vehicle weighs about 3 tons each time.
OK, well, thank you very much indeed for that business update. Yuka Roya from our business desk. Thank you very much indeed to you. Thanks to you for watching. I'll be back in 3 minutes from now.